Welcome to Man Therapy. Man Therapy. Man Therapy.
Welcome to Man Therapy, a new podcast with four longtime friends talking about life, current events, and everything in between. Full discretion, we are not real therapists, but we suspect most therapists only wish they were us. We're just four guys with different opinions that still manage to love each other no matter our differences. The act of sharing a burden, fostering laughter, and lending an ear to a brother is the basis and foundation of what we call Man Therapy. So throw another log on the fire, oil up your beard. If you have one, grab a beverage of choice and relax. We welcome you to the Man Therapy Podcast. Hey, welcome into Man Therapy. We're glad you've been with us. This is our 10th episode. What do you say about that, guys?
Wait a second.
That's all of our fans.
Boo!
That's all of our fans hearing right now.
That's the one person in our comments.
Boo!
The one person booing.
Y'all
The
go
one
away.
person booing
Y'all
in the
stay
audience is from Canada.
And he was not on last week.
Well,
Did you-
apparently we're never going to have any Canadian listeners.
Hey,
0.1%.
we have, less than 1% from Canada.
Yeah.
We actually have 3% from South Africa. I do
Let's
not
go.
know how that has happened. So shout out to the South Africans.
Shout out.
And we have some from
I mean, do they
Ireland.
hate Canadians? Is that why?
Nah, I'm assuming so.
A shout out to all the Canadians tonight.
They probably wonder why we let them be a country too.
Oh my God!
Hate mail goes to.
Hey, I just gotta know, man. Why do you hate Canada so bad? Like, is it because I don't know? Maybe you ordered a Canadian bacon pizza one time, and
Yeah,
then when you got it,
bacon.
you found out it was ham. I
No.
mean, do you hate like Canadian football? I mean, like, do you hate maple syrup? What's
Love
your?
maple syrup.
Did you get raped by a moose?
no,
You have never been raped by a moose.
not to this day. I have not. No.
Those things are massive, by the
Okay.
way.
No.
Meese, multiple
Could you-
mooses.
I would also like to
Meese.
say if you call Canadian bacon a kind of bacon, that's one reason to hate you as a country.
It's just circle hand.
Nowhere close.
Until I get my money back for Bret Hart, I will always hate Canada.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
So you made some bets. That
Oh my
you-
God!
On some AEW, not AEW. That was back in the day, wasn't it? Bret Hart.
WWF would have been Bret Hart, and
Oh,
later
man.
on WCW. But no, I was not making bets on wrestling at 8 and 9 years old.
I was.
Yeah, it goes all the way back.
I had a problem.
You were.
I feel like you're lying.
I feel like you are too, Jeff.
He probably owes a bookie.
My dad still makes me pay him to this day.
One bag of Funyuns each year.
Well, our 10th episode, I really never thought we would make it to 10. No, I did.
Never thought we'd make it either.
It's,
How the f are we here still?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think to have 10 episodes and to be moving like we are, I think it's not. I think podcasts have had worse starts.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have they though?
Well, and here's my deal with it too. Even if we end up biting the big one, I have fun doing this. Just getting on here, and it's kind of like we're hanging out, even though we're all, in our separate areas of the states that we're in, but to
I
me,
agree.
it's just fun, man.
Yeah, I love just getting on here and talking to you guys. It feels like I honest to God, like this is man therapy, and that's why it has its name. Because I was having I've had bad days, and just you've just had a bad day, you're in a bad mood or something. I get on and talk with you guys and get off, and I feel better. I'm in a much better mood.
You get off. You
Yes.
get off and you feel better, Pat.
I wasn't going to say anything,
and I feel better.
I was just going to let it go.
Welcome, Mike, back to the podcast.
Yay, Mike's back.
Yay.
Hey, apparently we helped Pat get off and feel better.
Well, I mean,
Uncle cuss words.
You do feel better, right?
I
Either getting off of the podcast or what you're
feel so much stress relief. It just feels like everything is just just pushed out, and
man therapy is my little stress.
no more tension.
So on to segment
That you
1.
squeeze and stroke.
Oh my God. Editor is me. And
Segment 1.
Are you talking about Squeeze-Its?
Yes.
I used to love those things.
I'll send you a picture.
Please do.
All right, Jeff, we're moving on to segment 1, and take it away.
That's definitely not a squeeze it in your hand. It's red, but it's not a squeeze it.
We're not making it past 10. We're not making it past episode 10.
Red Rocket.
There is actually a car, like a car shop named the Red Rocket Auto down here in Scottsboro, and it's a woman like riding a rocket on their sign, and it's like a scandalous dressed woman just clinging on to an actual rocket ship. So yeah.
Well, there's a diner place where right down the road called the Rocket.
I got you.
There's no scantily clad women on the billboard or anything, but
you at least get your food fast.
No, the building is like a A-frame, so I guess kind of like a rocket, maybe.
They're trying to make it look like a rocket.
Speaking of rockets, so it goes right into my first segment.
Ooh, okay.
So last night I'm scrolling through movies, just trying to find something random to watch, and I scrolled upon one of my all-time favorites, which is Armageddon. And I forgot how much that movie hit me all up in the feels when I was watching it, but it does.
Yeah, it does.
And,
Don't want to close my eyes. Don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing.
Steven Tyler, I
Even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream I never do is I miss you.
I just muted Mike.
Oh, okay. So Mike is gone. We've now turned this into a three-way again.
It's a three-way Mike. All right, Mike's back. Mike's back now. I'm sorry, Mike.
So I'm calling Greg and starting my own podcast.
You're putting time out. That's
What
the
would you
first
call
time
it?
out we've had.
What would you call it? Next time, I won't mute you next time. It was redlining so hard.
So funny.
But it's really good.
So
If
You guys
this
are just
podcast
jealous
doesn't
of
go
my
big-
musical talent.
If this
Oh,
podcast
absolutely.
does not go big, we're going 4-way boy band.
Wait, what?
4-way boy band.
It's a better way to say that.
the Lonely Island doesn't say it's not gay if it's a four-way. It says it's not gay if it's a three-way.
Oh,
I mean, Ray, you really know about BTS, don't you, and boy bands? So I mean, you could be our manager.
You non-cultured swine.
hey, listen. You just don't know like the full stumble blind days
I will say Mike
All right.
did throw the first bra on stage. It wasn't a woman.
I
It was
did.
Mike threw it.
Uh,
There's
I
that.
think
Yeah.
I was there.
Do you know? Do you know who was with me?
Mike was very supportive.
Jeff was with me when I bought
Yes.
that.
Yes, I was about to say we went to the store and bought that.
That was me, you, and Ty.
Yeah,
Jeff loved my playing days so much he would miss my concerts and hang out with us afterwards.
exactly.
Did you buy the bra from Unclaimed Baggage? Because
No.
they sell that, and it's really
It was
weird.
Walmart, I think, is where we went.
Yeah, we did, and that's when I was following that dude around with the Darth Vader
The
mask,
Darth Vader
and,
mask.
and in the electric wheelchair.
Ain't that the same thing where you asked the lady
I am your
about
stalker.
feminine hygiene products or something?
I probably did. I don't doubt anything.
Just being
I mean,
honest.
it's one of
Doesn't
the
deny or confirm what he did.
right. I mean, at this point, like people just tell me things that I did, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Most of Mike's life has been a movie. So, Jeff, what were you talking about your movie again?
I just saw Ray go by on his Segway.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
Oh,
while I'm watching it, it got me to thinking. The big movies, the big movies we had when we were growing up that made us pretty much, I guess, if you want to say for lack of a better word, fall in love with movies. And to me, that's the one that really rings a bell for me when I was a kid. That came out that was just like a huge movie for me. And so my question to you guys is, what was a big movie influence growing up with you guys that maybe still carries a lot of weight today, or just put you on a movie loving path?
All right, I'll go first.
all right. Who's gonna start? All
I'll
right.
go. So, like, the first movie I watched, I think, was like Lion King, and there was like Last Action Hero. So those were like good movies, but it wasn't until like Saving Private Ryan in '98 when a movie like made me feel like you were in what the movie was about.
Yeah.
And then after that, really good movies just like suck me in.
Do you know I have not seen that movie and I'm ashamed of myself?
What?
Okay,
It's probably
so
it's that and Forrest Gump are my two favorite movies of all time.
we
I
have
got Greg on speed dial right now.
we
That's
have
weird.
we have had a discussion about.
Is
that.
it
No,
more
I-
weird than him not seeing Saving Private Ryan?
No, look,
No.
I own the movie because Ray told me that it was his favorite movie of all time. It's one of those that
Then you have
isn't
not
it
cared
like 3
enough to
hours
watch it.
long? Yeah. So I
Have you ever seen Titanic?
Is it really
I have
3?
seen Titanic.
It's it's
Okay,
Has any
you've seen
red-blooded guy seen Titanic?
you've seen
Multiple
Titanic,
times.
but you haven't seen Saving Private Ryan. Okay, go ahead.
Saving Private Ryan.
Listen.
Saving Ryan Privates.
That was another one of those.
It's
Unclaimed
definitely
Baggage
worth
movies.
it, bud.
Oh, I don't doubt it, and it's right now. I don't have the time 3 hours to sit down and listen to it, or not listen
Oh,
to
yeah.
it, to watch it.
From start to finish, it's when I say it's one of my top 2 movies, like of all time, of all movies, period.
Yeah, and that's why I bought it. It was on sale on iTunes, and it was like, oh, click,
Nice.
and so I got
But-
it. And
That was mine, Jeff.
All right. Well, let's go with Mike.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. I have 3.
Mhm.
So probably number 1 on my list. Transformers 1985. Man, the movie. Oh my god,
The
You
old
know,
cartoon?
that was the old cartoon movie. Man.
Yeah.
Holy. I still love that movie. But I mean, like, Optimus Prime dies. Like this was favorite character, in the cartoon.
spoiler.
I'm.
For 1985.
Oh my god! Listen, Pat was Amish growing up, guys.
Yeah, my
No,
horse and buggy.
no. I mean, yeah.
I wasn't
Well,
alive.
at
in
least you're not like.
1985, though, but
No,
it
I
was
wasn't
going
either.
for me.
Okay, guys. Sorry
I
for
was-
being born in 1982.
I was not born in '85.
But
So yeah,
I have a more excuse of not have seen that as opposed to Saving Private Ryan. I know I'm horrible. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't hold that against anybody. Like that's.
Oh, I do.
I mean, Ray
I
has
hold
seen
it
it.
against Patrick.
Ray.
What exactly are you holding?
Ray has seen it.
You're whacked up.
So, I mean, that was huge.
Now,
That's what I was
Sam
saying
Hill's
too.
going on in?
Are you messing with us?
What?
Hello?
Pat's
Hey.
box?
What are you
What
doing?
y'all doing in here one time?
Who is this?
Oh, you know, I'm that boy Debo.
Debo? Who's Debo?
You don't
What
need
the
to worry
fuck?
about that. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in here now.
Oh, it's Greg.
Is this Greg?
What's up, guys?
Uh-oh.
What the?
Oh, my God.
What?
Oh,
How are you, Greg?
I'm okay. How are you fellas?
So you
Holy
thought I
crap,
was?
it
You
really
thought
is
it,
him.
y'all thought I was kidding when I said I had him on speed dial.
oh,
Welcome to the pod, bro.
hey.
Yay! Greg's here to take Mike's place. See ya.
Yay!
Yep. See you guys.
So this was
You little redheaded bastard.
this was my doing. So I had him on, and Greg has been informed that you have told the wiener story. So
Well, thanks a lot for
Yeah.
ruining the whole me having Greg on speed dial thing. Asswipe.
it would have been better if
Oz behind the curtain right then.
yeah.
So,
What?
Well, we've
So
got
Greg?
Greg on, guys.
So, Greg, what's
That's
your
also-
favorite movie of all time?
What's your favorite movie growing up?
Favorite movie?
Yeah.
Favorite movie growing up had to have been Rookie of the Year.
Rookie. Okay.
Hey, I thought
All
about
right.
that movie. I love
All
that
right.
movie.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
Respect.
And then the whole
what about Major League? Major
Oh, man.
League.
Angels in the outfield.
Oh, that was a great one too.
That would make
Rookie
me
of the
cry.
Year, that was good. The whole
Yeah.
like his arm, his like whatever surgery stopped working, his super arm, and he had to like softball toss it.
Okay.
I was like,
yeah.
is this what happened when you get Tommy John surgery?
Spoiler.
Please help.
Every little kid was trying to break their arm at that time to get a super arm.
I can get rubber band elbow.
They started
Seriously,
they
I
started
wonder-
putting disclaimers on the first part of that movie. Please do not try to break your arm.
Don't do this at home.
The kids tried to break their arm. I actually did. I just unfortunately broke it in the wrong place.
Well,
Uh,
I guess you have your other part of the arm got super then.
Whatever.
Forearm.
Really, it caused
So who Mike, you had
Yes.
3, right? You had the
No, I didn't get my 3.
No, you had 3. You only got 2 or 1 out though.
Yeah.
We'll go for it.
All right. So number 2, Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goose.
One. Yeah. Oh man. Oh. See, two of my favorite movies right there with amazing characters dying, Optimus Prime and Goose. Oh,
You as a kid.
I don't
was-
know, man.
That was rough.
Mike has a haunted
Oh, man.
childhood.
I do, man. Apparently. And number 3, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ah, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I watched it every time that I would fake being sick and be sitting at home. Usually after watching The Price is Right.
And going to get your Happy Meal. Going
Well,
to
here-
McDonald's.
No,
Happy
like
Meal?
my
What kind of rich
No,
parents did
I mean,
you have?
like-
I had Sprite and warm soup.
Yeah.
Hey,
that-
Vapor rub. Vicks
It's a-
vapor rub from your forehead to your toes. It's everywhere.
Everywhere, because that doesn't sound comfortable. For
Everywhere.
no,
was
it
burning.
does
The
not.
southern
Everywhere.
regions.
That sounds rough.
Mm.
It's like at youth camp one year, we some kid convinced another kid to put some icy hot on his balls, and then he ran and he was screaming like a little girl. And I'm like, "You idiot!" And
If you've never done that, I suggest you try it.
no. So and then he went to the shower, and it made it worse.
Discretion
And
is
so
advised.
there's this
If you- If you ever do that,
Oh my god!
though,
I accidentally
be
got
sure to-
Tiger Balm on my balls once.
be sure to put it in front of a fan. It makes it feel a whole lot better.
Greg, have you put Icy Hot on your balls? Greg?
No, but I did put Vicks Vapor Rub on my eyelids.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh, yowzers.
He thought it would keep him awake.
Why are colors bleeding?
Oh my
All the
gosh.
colors-
That's like a whole new level of pain.
Ouch.
Like,
Pretty sure that's in the Geneva
Guys,
Convention.
I'm still blown away that Greg's on the cast.
Who else we got on this podcast?
I think that was Michael's wife.
Is that the wife?
Mike went feminine.
Yeah, she said Greg's on the podcast.
Yes, he is. And it's great to
So-
have Greg on the podcast too.
Ferris Bueller is one of those movies
It
though,
is.
that like I could watch consistently and not get tired of.
Please don't hate me.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I actually dislike that movie.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I just
well,
turn the channel when I see
I
it.
mean,
Haven't seen it.
it's it's whatever,
course you
man. I mean,
haven't.
people are entitled to their opinions.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, guys. I haven't seen Top Gun or Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well,
What?
Get
You
out of
watch
here,
Top
Greg.
Gun.
Go
We've had
home.
Top Gun playing upstairs. That's happened.
I can't
Right.
go home. I'm at work, Mike.
Greg was probably watching cat
Yeah, I'm
videos while we were watching Top Gun.
Possible. Him and Sean were watching cat videos while we were watching Goose.
I feel like I don't even. I
Dude.
feel like I don't even know you guys anymore.
dude, cat videos.
Right.
I mean, we're getting to know each other on this podcast. Have you seen the cat videos of like cucumbers and cats? And cats are
Whoa.
terrified of
Hell
cucumbers.
I don't know if I want to see
Dude,
this kind of video, Pat.
Hey, Mike, don't go
Do not
there.
type that
No,
in your
hey.
Google search.
Seriously. I swear. Yeah, I get it. I
Listen,
swear to God.
I'm probably on a lot of lists for my Google search, but
No, I swear to God, the cat cucumber videos, they are scared of them. And if you lay one on the floor and a cat like doesn't see it, they will jump straight up in the air and run off. I don't know why.
I
think they
feel
think
like
it's a
What
snake.
part of the internet are you on? Because
I don't know.
Part.
I didn't
I
search
feel
it,
like-
somebody sent it to me.
I feel like this is one of those things where it'd be like, "Hey, go check out whitehouse.com. It's okay."
I'm afraid. Don't do it.
oh Lord.
Don't do it,
This is
everybody.
what I.
It'd be like purple
Is that-
waffles or something.
The reason why they do that is it's something placed in their area that they're not used to, so you could really do it with anything besides cucumbers. That's what it was explained to me, but
Okay.
what I know, I'm not a cat expert.
I've never had a cat.
You might be though.
You might be a
one.
cat expert though, Greg.
You started to say Aspert.
Mike did come in.
Cat's got
one time.
Asperger's.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're canceled Ray after that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Pat, all right.
Hey Pat, I just want you
his-
to know I have edited every thought I've just had for the past few minutes, so
Well, I'm
you're
glad.
welcome.
Well, I mean, I'm so glad that you've edited your own thoughts. So
I think Pat should go ahead and hit us with his movies before we travel down a rabbit hole that we can't get out of.
okay, so yeah,
It's called growth, by the way.
yes, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're growing. Anyways,
Yeah. I'm maturing.
Grower, not a shower.
okay, my movies growing up, I have two, and they were
All right.
made in the year 2000. And the ones that I guess the question is, what made you really appreciate and love movies? That was the question, right? Well, the
Yeah.
first movie would be The Patriot in year 2000, and I absolutely love that movie. I felt patriotic as all get out when I watched that movie, and it was absolutely incredible. And then the same year, Gladiator came out with Russell Crowe, and that movie, those two
Oh,
were probably
man.
my two of my
Yes.
favorites. And I have not hated a character in a movie before that until I watched Gladiator, and it's not Maximus, and then what, I can't remember the emperor's name, but anyways, I have not
Oh,
hated
God.
the character of that guy, like I absolutely hated him, and it made me get up all in the feels. The same with The Patriot, and those are two of the movies that stand out to me when I'm watching them. After I got finished, I was just like, dang, that's a movie.
Absolutely. Good choices.
We're looking for Commodus.
Joaquin Phoenix. That you're talking about?
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix's
Commodus, I
character.
believe is how you-
Commodus.
Yeah.
COMMODUS.
Oh man, his speeches, Maximus's speeches in that movie were, give you chills, man.
It's such a great movie.
Oh,
And,
you're not
is this what you want? It's great. And anybody else got anything on movies?
No, that was it with me. I just had the one. Now, as far as movies go, I've got a ton of favorites, but that was the one that really
really stood out. Yeah,
really stood out to me. As an older kid, as a younger kid, it was probably Aladdin, Lion King, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I kind of was thinking younger, and then I thought about those two movies as like, I was around 13 when those came out, so it was I guess at that age you're more.
Yeah.
Have you watched the new the Book of Boba Fett?
I have.
So I'm a pretty huge Star Wars fan, and now seeing them start putting everything together, it got me in my feels with all the characters kind of telling the story and it not sucking and having Jar Jar Binks, and actually being good storytelling. So the new Star Wars stuff have got me in my feels lately.
I've looked up in the sky several times and I've never seen stars going to war, so I'm not really up into that.
Greg, if you want to replace Jeff on this podcast, we might let you.
I don't.
Now
know
you
how
have
I feel
to
about that.
admit though.
What are we?
You have to admit that Darth Maul was a badass villain, though.
Oh,
yeah,
so cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he was honestly the redeeming part of that movie, of Phantom Menace.
If I understand correctly, we're supposed to be getting a Maul origin story
on Disney Plus.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah, I think Dave Filoni's writing it.
Yeah, they. I would personally just if I could click a delete button for the last 3 actual full-length Star Wars movies and give it to the Favreau or John Favreau or whatever who's doing the Mandalorian and just be like, you do you, man. You do 3 full-length movies.
Are you trying to say Favreau?
Is it Favreau? I pronounced it wrong.
Are you trying to say Brett Favre?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Favre. Anyways,
Favre.
I got that pronunciation
wrong. I didn't say Joe Montana. I said Joe Montana.
But yes, that dude, Happy from the Marvel universe. So
yeah, man,
I would let him do movies and just delete those. There have been some rumors, but I don't believe them. All right. Mike, it is your segment. Your turn is up, and I have no idea where this is going to go, but let's go.
Well, I just wanted to get all romantic and talk about the origins of Valentine's Day.
The orifices or origins?
Oh my gosh.
I said origins, but
I misheard that.
I mean, Freudian slip.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll
Nobody. All right.
No, nobody.
All right. Well, so February 14th, Valentine's Day. Do you guys have any clue how it originated?
Women wanted to drain you of all your money. No, I haven't.
Damn, you have a very bleak. You have a very bleak outlook on Valentine's Day, bud.
It's not that bleak. I was just stating representing some of the men out there who always break up with their girlfriends before Valentine's Day. Which
please tell me it's a pagan holiday somehow.
It isn't it? Okay.
Yes, Ray, you are on the right track, sir.
Is there like
Valentine's.
a Saint Valentine?
Yeah.
There is a Saint Valentine.
Yes.
So like
Ooh, okay.
this has kind of a interesting backstory. Like, I was trying to think like, what to do for this segment, and since we changed our logo for our podcast, I was like, man, I think I really want to see what this was actually about. So, anyways, the earliest possible origin, and I'm getting this from nationalgeographic.com. I've looked at a few different articles, but this one by Sydney Combs,
because they know
kinda,
love.
Right. Well, I mean, I was just trying to go with, a very fact-based article on this. So, anyways, they said that the origin story of Valentine's Day is the pagan holiday of Lupercalia. Occurring for centuries in the middle of February, the holiday celebrates fertility. Men would strip naked and sacrifice a goat and dog. I don't know why a goat and no, I swear, dude, I will send you the link. But men would strip naked and sacrifice a goat and dog. I don't know why.
Was it because
these
it like goat weed or something like that?
I don't know, dude. I mean, like,
is that what? I don't know.
I don't know what a goat and a dog had to do with.
Would they like?
Hold on, I got some crazier to go along with this. Okay, young boys would then take strips of hide from the sacrificed animals and use it to whip young women to promote fertility.
How does that promote fertility?
So they're spanking these women with hides from goats and dogs.
Well, I mean, honey, we're gonna go back to how Valentine's Day is originally celebrated, and we're gonna go sacrifice a goat.
Initiated people into the upper room.
Yeah, right, the paddle.
Yeah.
All right, so I also saw, a couple other articles that I read to add on to this one, but I can't really think of the sources. Just recall that they said that after these women would do that, I think basically, I think there was like some sort of lottery or something like that. Anyways, the women would end up with the young boy that, these young women would end up with the boys that whipped them for either the remainder of the festival or for a whole year. So I don't know exactly which is which, but I heard, I read both. Anyways, Lupercalia was popular and one of the few pagan holidays still celebrated 150 years after Christianity was legalized in the Roman Empire. All right. So when Pope Gelasius came to power in the late 5th century, he put an end to Lupercalia. Soon after, the Catholic Church declared February 14th to be a day of feast to celebrate the martyred Saint Valentine.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I mean, much like, Christmas and Easter.
So it was replaced, like the actual,
right.
Actually, it was kind of replaced with a new, a new holiday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, they called it, Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine's Day. Okay. So, who is Saint Valentine's, right?
Yep.
Well, let's see here. There's actually about 2 men that they think were Saint Valentine.
There's debate.
It says the 2 Well, I mean, there's no clear answer on which Valentine it actually was. Both men were also said to have died on February 14th, although years apart. Both of them were martyrs put to death by the Roman Emperor Claudius in the 3rd century. The first Valentine was a priest who was arrested during the Roman persecutions of Christians. when brought before the Emperor. Valentine used to renounce his faith, and as punishment was placed under house arrest. The head of the house holding Valentine challenged the priest to show the true power of God. Soon Valentine restored sight to a young blind girl, and the whole house was converted. Once word of the miracle and conversion reached the emperor, Valentine was executed. All right, so that's the first Valentine.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay. The second priest, the Bishop Valentine of Tournai, was also a miracle worker. Known for his ability to heal physical disabilities, a scholar sent for the bishop to heal his only son who could not speak or straighten his body. After a night of prayer, the bishop healed the boy, and the family, along with visiting scholars, converted to Christianity. Shortly after, the bishop was arrested for his miracles, and after refusing to convert to paganism, beheaded. So,
jeez.
Yeah, and I think there was also, and I think there was also like, gosh, I can't remember which one it would have been, but there was one of them that was in love with, a girl, and had sent a letter also, and had ended it with "Your Valentine." So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little convoluted on who actually was Valentine, or whatever, but through the centuries,
they have similar stories anyway. But
right, yeah, both of them were beheaded because they were, healing people within the Roman Empire there, and then these households were converting to Christian faith, and so Claudius had them killed.
So the original pagan version of Valentine's Day sounds a lot of like 50 Shades of Grey, except like 50 Shades of Goat.
little BDSM action,
like
whipping
people would
whipping the girl,
like
whipping your betrothed with a dog hide or
like
a goat hide.
The stone from the kidney of the goat like promotes fertility or something like that.
I guess I don't know, man.
Anyway,
I thought it had to test or something.
Oh, getting a little testy, huh?
Oh man,
yeah. So, like now, Valentine's Day cards. So, how did people celebrate and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first Valentine's Day card dates to 1415, when the Duke of Orleans sent a card to his wife while he was a prisoner in the Tower of London.
Okay.
In the United States, Valentine's Day cards didn't gain popularity until the Revolutionary War, when people took up the habit of writing handwritten notes to their sweethearts. Aww. It was only in the early 1900s that cards were mass produced for the holiday.
Okay. Yeah, leave it to them to make monotonize Valentine's Day cards. So you gotta save money on handwritten cards.
Right. Well, I mean, Valentine's Day, it kind of holds a special place in my heart. That's
oh yeah.
Gosh. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Back in 2014, it was Valentine's Day night. I proposed to my wife.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and so Valentine's Day is gonna always be special to you then, because you've always got that memory. So it's but it's always you.
And to be clear, I didn't whip her with a goat hide or a dog hide.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe you, but still. But still, though, so this is like so Valentine's Day plus is what it is. So you got to go a little above and beyond because your engagement every year.
Yeah,
but hey,
yeah, man.
As far as I'm concerned, Valentine's Day could be turned into Halloween too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people out there that Valentine's is a day they try to forget. They just go from Valentine
International Singles Day.
Yeah, it's leap year. Yeah. Skip it.
Requested that day off and I'm gonna shoot my phone off.
Wait, for real?
No.
Yeah, I've requested the day off at work and I'm just gonna power off my phone, sit at home and do nothing all day.
Hit up a bar and go find.
Well, if we have
trying to find a man.
right.
Yeah.
Well, if we have any single lady listeners, we have a fiery red-headed ginger that is single and looking to mingle.
Single and ready for Pringle.
So hit those socials, or I don't know if the farmersonly.com
That was wrong.
profile that we made for Greg still exists.
Oh my god!
But you might can find him on there. I think his name was Sheep Lover or something like that. I can't remember.
Wow. He's got a better chance finding someone on like AL.com or an Alabama Roll Tide
Oh,
Reddit.
man.
Speaking of that, did y'all see where Bill Ingvall answered what was the #1 dating site? Alabama.
No, what is that?
He said Ancestry.com.
That's just in Auburn, though, right?
Oh man.
I'm sorry. No, we get those jokes. So
Hey, at least I'm not a Vols fan, okay?
true.
I mean, there is that, but it's not much of a step above.
So if you're single and ready to mingle, Greg.
Listen here, Mr. I SWAT teams.
Hey, listen. Yes, Greg is referring to the short period of time in my life that I was an Auburn fan. It was a very
Dark.
a very dark period
It was
in
the
my
only
life.
reason I started becoming friends with Mike. Just like to throw that out there.
Yeah, right. Dude, you were friends with me before I even switched there for a bit.
I don't know. You were wearing the Auburn shirts. Just saying.
I went to
No, not at that time.
Yeah, you were wearing the section. You were in the section sweatshirt and that Auburn sweatshirt. That was the go-to shirts.
Oh, yeah. Because I was still in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I became an Auburn fan, is when we went to that same year. I went to both Alabama and Auburn games, and Alabama just the spirit was just at that time.
That was in the dark days.
It was. That was gosh, I think that might have even been when Price was the coach there, short-lived.
Oh yeah, and then he got fired because he went to the strip club or whatever and got spotted.
At least
Was
that was
Yeah. And he was quoted as saying, while he got a lap dance, "Roll, Bama, roll."
I didn't expect nothing less.
How speaking, this has totally different, not even pertaining to the subject at all, but I did go to one of a local high school ball game this year, and we had a fan who came up to me after the game, and she talked to me, and she asked me about Ray, and she was like, "Why don't y'all know where he lives?" And that was the question, and I was like, he's just a loner, and we're trying. So there are concerned listeners out there that want Ray to tell us where he lives.
Please.
First off, give her my number. Secondly,
she's married. She's married.
Oh.
So if there are, Ray is also eligible.
no, he's not. No, he is.
He's
not.
very eligible.
He is not. I'll block your number and not talk to you for 4 years. Ask my friends.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's probably a category on Farmers Only that's exactly that. It's like talk every 4 years. Not big on communication. So there you go. Anyways, so moving on. Anybody got anything else to say about Valentine's or the history of Valentine's or?
I feel
well,
like I feel like it's just a money making holiday, and there's no real reason behind it.
ouch.
How
Sorry,
much do y'all
Jeff's
spend on
wife.
getting your significant other's stuff compared to how much do they spend on you? What do you think the price
Yeah,
differential is?
see, my wife is very level-headed about that, and she was like, "Yeah, that's not fair. That's not right." Because I mean, if it's a day of love, it kind of goes both ways. But I say that like I think the guy ends up spending more when it's like you first start dating, but my wife and I end up just instead of doing all the whole like chocolates and bears and cards, we just go to a really nice restaurant and both just enjoy each other. So
Nice.
that's what we end up doing.
I enjoy you.
Oh, do you? Well, let's go eat sometime, Jeff.
All right.
Oh.
You probably have a better chance of
I'm
finding
not
out
sure
where
where
I
this is
live
going.
compared to that.
Yeah,
And
if who's gonna get the bill?
we'll go Dutch.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And later, Dutch oven.
We go Dutch here.
You guys
baby.
might as well get Greg.
Yeah. Well, Ray and Greg could celebrate the holiday, take off, and just be each other's buddies.
Yeah, I think I could see that happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys ready to move on?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my segment. I would have covered this last week, but we don't have to take too long on it. It's just something that's kind of I've kind of latched onto and is kind of near and dear to my heart, even though it's about Canadians, and I know how Jeff feels about Canadians.
Oh,
I actually
here we go.
I went to Canada for work twice. I went to British Columbia and then
I'm sorry.
Calgary, Alberta, and I think it was Prince George was the city. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like it is beautiful. Like everything looked like a fake card, like Christmas card there, and up at Banff. We were able to go to Banff and see that national park. It's absolutely gorgeous. The people are nice, but so as of January 15th, 2022, all travelers entering Canada, including truck drivers, must use Arrive CAN or Arrive CAN. So to provide a mandatory travel information, including proof of vaccination. The U.S. has also followed suit with a similar mandate for truckers coming from Canada and Mexico. So Canada really lobbied the U.S. to do this back. So the Biden administration had no plans before to initiate this Arrive. I think it's actually an app on your phone. And I've actually saw a video of a trucker that was driving across the border. And when he got to the border, they were like, they said, no, you don't have to show anything. We've already got it. So they knew before he even crossed the border, they were able to somehow get information off of his phone and know that he was vaccinated without him even having to scan or present it, which is kind of scary to me from just my perspective. But this January 15th caused this big uproar. And so that was born the Freedom Convoy. If you haven't heard of it, it's all over Twitter. I don't know if a lot of mainstream news agencies are covering this, but they started on January 22nd. So it was born because of these mandates. And mostly it was because of these truckers going back and forth between the Canada and the U.S. and also the mandates within each province in Canada for forcing these truckers, or they don't have a job if they don't put this vaccination in their body. So a lot of these people were just against it, just like me. I'm bodily autonomy. I don't think a governing body should be allowed to tell you what you can or cannot put in your body, regardless of what it is. But that's my personal opinion. So anyways, so the truckers, they started their convoy in West Canada, and they started going, and as they drove across Canada, they got momentum. And there's all kinds of videos. You can go on Twitter, you can find all these kinds of videos when they were going and they were adding to their number, and people were coming out on the interstates. They had Canadian flags. They were supporting these and just out there with signs and just having a good time, and to show their support for the truckers and what they were doing. And so as they started getting closer they were going across country to the capital, Ottawa, and they were going to set up shop there. So as they were moving, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, he made a comment, and he said, the small fringe majority of people who are on their way to Ottawa, who are holding unacceptable views that they are expressing, do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue and ensure freedom. And that was on January 26th. A quote from Prime Minister, who, anytime some person in the government starts saying that people have unacceptable views, but all these truckers wanted is just to stop these mandates. They don't want to be forced to lose their job or quit because they don't want to put a vaccine in their body, granted, regardless of what that is, And so these workers had a right to protest. So they peacefully got together and got this together and started driving across Canada, and it just blew up. And the crazy thing is, there have been reports I saw there at one point there were 50,000 in the truck, and reports that they broke a Guinness World Record for the longest convoy. But yet the crazy thing is that the opposing political side, who opposes this convoy, were trying to minimize the number of truckers that were in it. And there were people saying that they were only in the number of the hundreds, which was absolutely crazy, because I followed this I've been following this since the beginning, and video don't lie. So also another quote from Trudeau at the same time to kind of put this in perspective, that he made this quote back in 2020 and through the riots of 2020. And he said, to look out the window of my office and see thousands upon thousands of young people, of Canadians of all ages, stand in solidarity and wanting to see change happen, I felt it was important for me to be part of that. He said, to be able to listen and to be able to hear people and to understand and to share with people how important that act was. And so he went out and he with the BLM and protest, and he knelt in solidarity for these protests. So he supported those. So I actually have a clip as the truckers started moving closer to Canada. I think it was like the day before they were going to arrive, Trudeau said that he's been triple vaccinated. He said that he was exposed, so he had to go into quarantine. And then when the truckers arrived in Ottawa, he actually started, he said that he evacuated and then said he tested positive, so he was going to have to go into quarantine. But then the media reported that he was actually taken to an undisclosed location because of this protest, because he wasn't going to be in the city or meet with these truckers at all. So I found the clip. So at his undisclosed location, it looked like a cabin somewhere in the woods. He says this:
I have attended protests and rallies in the past when I agreed with the goals, when I supported the people expressing their concerns and their issues. Black Lives Matter is an excellent example of that. But I have also chosen to not go anywhere near protests that have expressed hateful rhetoric, violence towards fellow citizens, and a disrespect not just of science, but of the frontline health workers and, quite frankly, the 90% of truckers who have been doing the right thing to keep Canadians safe, to put food on our tables. Canadians know where I stand. This is a moment for responsible leaders to think carefully about where they stand and who they stand with.
So that is just a clip from how Trudeau has been addressing these truckers and their wants and needs. And I don't think they're actually a minority in Canada. I think a lot of people, because I've been covering this because it has just interested me, because these are actually workers, truckers, people of Canada that have stood up and said, we do not agree with what our government is doing. We are part of this country, and we want to stand up and say that we don't want to be forced to take a medical procedure or a medical injection in order to be free and be able to take part in society, because Canada has a lot stricter policies. Because, like, for instance, currently unvaccinated people, from what I understand, is if you go to Walmart as an unvaccinated person, you can only, I think there are certain things that you can buy. You can go to the pharmacy, and I think you can go to the food section, and they actually have to have a person, I guess an employee from Walmart, that escorts them into certain areas of this Walmart, just because they're not vaccinated, to either get there, to make sure that they don't go to buy an Xbox or something. So this has kind of compounded. They're a lot stricter in Canada over this, and polls, and I get it. So a lot of the polls have shown that Canadians have not, that a lot of them have agreed with these mandates. But since the truckers have started, that I have seen people post that Canadian, because the truckers started going across the country, they've actually changed public opinion to, I think, over 54% now of Canadians want to get rid of these mandates and these strict things that were put in place when there was an actual, in my opinion, an actual emergency going on. So that brings us to this weekend where things got crazy. Absolutely crazy. So first off is, I think, I don't know the exact order, but media has been labeling these protesters as violent. They've been labeling these protesters, and that is, I have yet to see one video that shows that there any violence. If you want to, they have set up like bouncy houses for kids in downtown Ottawa. They have bouncy houses. They have Polish people coming out cooking Polish sausage for everyone, I saw a video where a Polish woman was like, we've lived in a communist country and we don't want this, what has happened over the past few years feels like communism, and we're out here to support freedom. And they're actual people. Now, there was a guy that showed up with a Confederate flag in Canada. He showed up with a mask on, with a Confederate flag, and there was a guy with a camera, like one of the nice cameras, following him around.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And
that doesn't seem sketch at all, but go ahead.
And so, but the truckers, from what I've read, the truckers are trying, when people like that have come, I've seen them approach those people and be like, why are you here? Like, this doesn't represent our cause. And they are like policing themselves and trying to push these people out. But the media in Canada, for like the leftist ideology from when I was a kid was in support of workers. They were in support of the little guy. They were in support of workers' rights. And this is exactly what it is. And they're trying to label this as a violent extremist protest. And it is absolutely not. Go look at the videos and before the internet.
Well, I mean, it only takes like a few people in those places to kind of, spoil the message too. Well, I mean, like, I read an article where there was some guys like, trying to, hop into these homeless shelters and demanding food and everything like that, and like they were a little bit overrun. It,
Yeah, and I heard that too.
Trying to provide meals. So I mean, like, I'm not saying that that's every one of them as a whole, but I'm saying like it only takes a few, bad apples to spoil, something that's actually,
Yeah, and I get that, but that particular
spoil
statement
the message.
was that from the story that I heard on that. See, that's the thing. There are two different sides. There are people that are trying to break this down, and there are people trying to just like be like, "Hey, we're wanting to stand up for our rights and our freedom, and I don't want to be forced to do this." And they have their right, and I agree with them on what this protest is for. And about the homeless shelter, is what I heard on a video is that the homeless people went up to the shelter. I mean, the truckers went up when they arrived because they didn't have any food and stuff. And they actually went into the homeless shelter and they asked if they could eat some of the food. And then they were like, yeah. So all these truckers went in to eat. And then the homeless shelter was like, no. And they acted like that they were stealing from them. It's what another side of the story to that I've heard, because people were trying to push it that they were just stealing food from a homeless shelter, but the other side said no, they like kind of pulled the rug out from under us when we asked politely. By the way, these truckers, they were shoveling snow and they were cleaning up all of the trash. They were, I mean, they're not just sitting there doing nothing. Like if you go look, they have set up a party. Like seriously, they're dancing. I've yet to see a video where anything was violent. So, but over the weekend, this was a driver, and it's not on mainstream media. This was from the Post Millennial, but a driver was accused of hitting 4 of the Freedom Convoy protesters Friday night in what appeared to be, he had a mask on in his car and he sped through several protesters and hit them. And he has been arrested for doing this. And this was not the Freedom Convoy. This was somebody else. There's also a really hilarious video. I can post the link to it. But there are people trying to act like they've been hurt. And like there's this video. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you or exaggerating. Like this, it's icy. So a truck, one of the counter protesters now that has showed up, was like purposely putting himself out in front of this truck, and he flopped worse than LeBron, and he just laid on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Like the truck didn't even hear it. He like did the whole like fake flop thing and fell on the ground,
right,
trying to make these truckers look as violence. And I don't get why they're pushing this as a violent protest. But over the weekend that happened.
The same reason that they claimed that all the stuff during the Summer of Love was mostly peaceful, while cities were burnt down and businesses and courthouses were attacked and police stations were burnt down, and it was a Summer of Love. It was peaceful protests.
But
so that's the same way this is going, except for the opposite direction.
So before the protest started, I agree, Jeff. Before the protest started, they released a GoFundMe. Well, over the weekend, GoFundMe talked with local police, and they said because the protest had become an occupation, that they were pulling all of their funding. They had $10 million raised. That's how much they had in their GoFundMe. So GoFundMe was like, we don't agree with your political beliefs. And so they pulled it. Initially, GoFundMe was sent out emails and was telling them you have to click on this link and you have to sign a form to get your money back. And if you don't do that, the money that's left over, we're going to give to charities of our choosing. Well, attorney generals got involved. So much backlash that GoFundMe folded. And this was just a few days ago. They folded and they're giving everybody their money back, just refunding it straight back to their credit card or whatever. Yeah. But a website on GiveSendGo, which is an alternative to GoFundMe, was immediately set up. They set up another GoFundMe, and it in less than 48 hours they had raised over $2 million. So there's a lot of support, including Elon Musk is tweeting out tweets supporting these truckers, and I think he even donated money, if I'm not mistaken. But what I'm saying is that why is a trucker protest who was the working class, who worked all through the pandemic without vaccinations, they delivered all of this food, all of these goods, so people could stay in their homes, they could do their thing while they stayed at home, just saying, hey, we want to be heard. We want to be heard. We're not burning down anything. Why is the government of Canada acting like these are violent extremists for just turning off a truck and honking? Now, they are honking, and there are great videos out there of people just being like saying, I haven't slept in 5 days because they won't stop honking. But you have to look at,
yeah, I mean that's kind of douchey in that part. Then I mean, I'm not saying the whole thing is bad, but I mean, you still need to respect people if you want to get people on your side.
So GoFundMe, by the way, the reason why they were able to do that, an article that I was reading said that there was so many mass traffic infractions that happened. GoFundMe had a legal obligation to hold off on that money being given because it was technically a crime. So that's why they had the ability to do that.
Yes,
basically they blockaded the city, and
yes, so they said it was
nobody can kind of get through
traffic infractions.
But dude, like the GoFundMe had supported Chaz, in Seattle, which they supported all of the BLM.
I'm not taking up for them. I'm just saying that's what they're saying. They had the legality was on their side.
But it's if you fall in line with the way we believe, then you're okay. But if you go the opposite, then screw you. We're going to find some way, some loophole to take the money from you.
But at the same time,
you've got to treat them equally.
But
I mean, I think that there's like two sides to this. I mean, it's one of those things where you want your message heard. I mean, like Trudeau should definitely sit down and talk with whoever is I guess most intelligible, and talk with these guys and actually
or the man can go lock himself in a basement for the rest of his life.
Well, I mean,
that's what he's done so far.
That's the thing, though. Is I mean, like we're not acting. He's not acting like a grown man, and actually hearing people out and debating them and talking to them. I mean,
he's acting like
would you do that to another? Way. Yeah. Would you do that to another world leader? I mean, if Canada having some sort of issue with Russia, would he just hole up in a cabin and not talk to Putin? No, he wouldn't.
But see, the other countries, the legality is one of the things that, like, the mass traffic infractions is what they were banking on. Also, there was a trade agreement called NAFTA. It's called USMCA now, the U.S.-Canada or Mexico-Canada agreement now. There has to be some legality in withholding the flow of goods. There has to be some break in legality with him holding those 18-wheelers from going through America into Canada. There has to be a break.
You have a huge point on that.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's why I'm saying he needs to sit down like a grown man and talk to these
that's their demand.
Truck drivers.
That's their demand, is like the honking will stop when you comply. I mean, literally, that's what they're saying.
Right.
It's like, you drop the mandates and we'll leave. And I mean, they have been asked, or do you plan on leaving? And these truckers are like, no. I'm like, I think, or they ask, how long are you staying? And they say probably about 15 days to stop the spread. It was one of the truckers' answer. So
2 years.
yeah.
Wow.
So that and also on top of that, truckers were trying to get across the border to come there, and the Canadian government is shutting down, trying to keep, because there are thousands of more people trying to get into the city and to try to get.
I'm sure
they've shut down bridges, and there was people, American truckers and Canadian truckers, trying to come home and go back home to get there, but they weren't letting them in. So they also have a blockade of one of the Alberta entries to Canada. So there is currently a blockade, but some of the leaders also in Canada have came out in support of like ending these mandates, like a lot of countries across the
right.
world.
Well,
Wouldn't it be
sure.
awesome if Canada built a wall? That'd be awesome.
That would be funny. That would be hilarious.
But see, I saw.
Now listen. Go ahead, Greg.
I saw a video where the prime minister called like all the local tow truck companies to have all these truckers towed out of the way, and their response is, "Sorry, we have COVID."
Yeah, I saw that too.
So like that's so dumb anyways, because you have to get a semi tow truck to be able to haul a semi truck and trailer. Like, those guys carry CDLs themselves. Are you kidding me?
Like, seriously,
Hey, I know you drive a big rig, but I need you to bring your big rig to get this big rig protester out of my way.
By the way, where are we going to park all these big rigs once we get the big rigs and the big rig?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they have set up. The truckers built a soup kitchen, like a little soup shack, to serve people, and people are donating food. There are grandmas and kids and all across Canada sending food and love and cards to these truckers. They've termed it, the Polish Canadians have made a quote Walmart. It's basically a flatbed truck trailer, and there are supplies all across this truck, like anything that you can think of, like, is there for these truckers. And it's crazy, the outpouring of support for these guys, because they're the little guys. Yeah. I mean the CTV, the Canadian television, why are they not getting support? The MSNBC has already called them. They're trying to label this as like the January 6th of Canada, and it's actually a real worker uprising, saying that without us, there's farmers that they brought their tractors that involved, and I mean, I'm to the point that, like, traffic violations, who cares? Like, that's just, I mean, come on, they're not hurting anybody. I mean,
they're not complying to what they're wanting done, so yeah, that doesn't fit their agenda.
It's like, you don't agree with me, you're dangerous.
Well,
and I don't. That's not that rhetoric.
As the only CDL carrying member of this podcast, I can tell you right now, like, I'm one of three guys at I work for a concrete mixer plant. I'm one of three guys that has the vaccination now. And I'll say this, I do not believe in people being forced to have the vaccination. I believe it's a choice. I made the choice myself to do it. I mean, I don't expect anyone else, if they don't want to do it, okay. But I mean, like, working with other drivers, like, your vast majority are, more conservative. I mean, it's a blue collar kind of job.
And like, a lot of the truckers are like, we spend most of our time by ourselves in a cabin anyway. So, like, what?
Oh yeah, you do.
It's like we drive by ourselves.
Right. And a lot of times they don't even have to touch the cargo, when they drop it off.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we had um, some stricter regulations when we went to one of the sites where Facebook is expanding, and when we went on site there, we were absolutely forced to wear our helmets and our all of our PPE, like our vests, supposed to be safety glasses, but I've got glasses and I don't think I ever saw anybody wear safety glasses per se. And we had to wear a mask, even though, like, we weren't getting out of the truck pouring, with the workers, and we would be out of the truck only washing down way away from other people. We still had to wear all that. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, the world's gotten kind of a little bit crazy about all of this. I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know. I mean, you get labeled a bad person if you are unvaccinated. You get, I mean, and then you have conservatives, also getting pissed off at people for, thinking that people should. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I think most of us probably fall in the gray area where it probably is more of a choice, but I mean, I don't know.
I'd like to add something that I think is just absolutely ridiculous about being unvaccinated if you choose to be, is that people on a waiting list for transplants, if they're unvaccinated, they're being denied 100%.
Yes, in some states, yes.
Yes.
I think that is ridiculous. You're just going to let someone die because they're not vaccinated? That makes no sense whatsoever.
It doesn't.
And
I mean,
back to the truckers, which all they're asking is, please don't force me to get this. Is all they're asking is, well, like news that's happened within the past few hours is the mayor of Ottawa has declared a state of emergency in the city. And there's been reports of that the government has sent armed riot squads out to confiscate fuel supplies from the lawful protest in the middle of winter. So,
I mean, so here's where it kind of becomes what they're doing. I agree with. I mean, I'm not, all, conservative and everything like that, but I mean, like, I don't
have to
feel
be
like there's
conservative to
anything
side with the
wrong.
worker.
No,
It's
Right.
not a conservative principle. It's just like, why do you have the leftist liberal media trying to paint these people as violent extremists when they haven't even shown any violence or any extremism other than parking a truck and being like, we ain't moving until you listen to us. And these truckers,
Right.
and there's no difference than what happened in the summer of riots in 2020 and like Occupy Wall Street. And guess what? A lot of liberal people were in support of Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
And
so here, I guess here's where my thing is where it's coming down to where Trudeau, like I mean, my side is definitely that Trudeau needs to sit down with these people and talk to them. Like, he needs to swallow his pride and talk to them, hear from these people, and I mean,
and he's
what's I mean, I get that it is probably becoming a state of emergency because you don't have food being shipped in or out, different things like it is decimating probably the common economy of Ottawa. And I mean, but it does fall back on the fact that Trudeau should sit down with these people.
And he's like, doesn't seem, he's ran to an undisclosed location. He doesn't seem willing to to do that at this moment. And
It's not a diplomatic. It's not being handled diplomatically. It's being handled like, oh, these people disagree with me. That I'm shutting it down.
he called it unacceptable views. And the leader of a free country should never be calling the belief or view of some other person, one of his constituents, unacceptable. That's communism. Like, honest to God, when the government comes out and says your view is unacceptable, that other than like being a violent extremist, and terrorism and causing chaos, like I would have characterized like the protest of 2020, which people have seemed to forget about, as violent extremism. And there was in those protests, because there's crazy people that hijacked the actual movement of the BLM thing.
And, there were crazy people. Yeah.
And because I think there were good and honest people in that protest, but it got hijacked, and now there's it's crazy. And I think Trudeau should definitely come and talk to these people, but it looks like he's being a coward, in my view, that he's not willing.
Right. It's not. He's not trying to bring people together and trying to bridge the gap. He's just saying, my opinion is law, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, and
when you split, like you look at Canada as a whole, you may represent them legally, but you can't just forget about the other people that you represent in your country. You represent the whole country as a whole, and you represent everyone's best interest. And so you're trying to force people to do something, and that becomes a problem.
And Elon Musk literally just tweeted, he said, "I'm pro-vaccination but anti-vaccination mandate." And what's happening, if you see all these titles,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, and they're calling people anti-vax.
Yeah, exactly.
They're calling people anti-vax. They're lumped because it sounds worse. They're calling you're anti-vax, but actually you're anti-mandate. You're not, because I'm not anti-vaccination. It's been proven, and vaccinations work. Now, I will debate you on this COVID vaccination. I will debate you on it, but there are vaccinations. The science behind vaccination works.
Doesn't work.
But there's a difference between anti-vaccination and anti-mandate, and I am anti-mandate. If you want to get it, go get it.
I'm anti-mandate.
And I think most people are anti-mandate, but the government is not listening to the people that, because.
But see, I'm anti-mandate on everything, though. I'm anti-mandate on mask. I'm anti-mandate on vaccine. I'm pro do what you feel is best for you and your family.
That's called freedom. And people, when people start acting like being like the government should tell you what to do, the government ain't your daddy or your mom. They should be there to keep the peace. They should be there to protect us, but they shouldn't start getting in and making everyday decisions in our lives, and especially health choices. Well,
going back to last week, how what a little bit of what we talked about when we started talking about politicians trading stocks and whatnot. How I'd mentioned that we've got to get rid of these career politicians. The ones that are making a living at staying in politics and in the Senate and Congress for life terms. Like, that's not what they were created for.
Maybe some of these bills there, from what I'm hearing, there's actually hope for some of these bills on stopping the politicians from being able to trade stocks. And I'm hoping that there's a second alternative effect to that some of these
that they're going to get out.
They're going to get out because, get out at the right time, because they won't be making millions of dollars off of these trades when they're outperforming Wall Street. Our politicians, they need to change, and they don't represent what the people want in every single case.
They don't.
But and a majority
unfortunately, the almighty, greed and dollar sign, is
Almighty dollar.
very, very tempting. Yeah, very tempting to people.
Absolutely.
There's a reason they say that
we are a fallen species, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that they say that money is the root of all evil, because a lot of it comes into I can't have enough.
Right. What is enough? Where's the line of what is enough?
Well, for those who don't know how to manage money, it's never enough, because you're always going to want something else. You're always going to want, and by that standard, most everybody lives beyond their means. But where it comes in, where it comes in with politicians is, especially when they're doing the insider trading, and you can't tell me that they don't, because they do. They keep on because, to them, money is power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
what was it? Cat Williams. I remember Cat Williams said something about, he was talking about Martha Stewart, and we called that a hookup.
Yeah.
All right, Ray, we are to your segment after that lengthy discussions about Valentine's Day and the Freedom Convoy. So it's up to you.
So the one of the biggest days of the consumption of pretzels, mac and cheese, Pepsi, and Coca-Cola will be this February 13th, and we are talking about the Super Bowl. So we have the Rams, who are 12-5, led by Matthew Stafford. So shout out to him. Came from Detroit. They were just a quarterback away, so they're in it. And then you have the Bengals with Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. They were 10-7. Meeting again at the Super Bowl February 13th, 5:30 on NBC. I want to say the betting line is LA at 4.5. So who do y'all got? Who do you like? Who do you want to win? And who do you think's going to win?
Bengals, and Bengals.
Gosh, I hope so.
The Bengals.
So why the Bengals?
I just feel like
Burrow,
dude, I feel like Burrow is a winner.
Yeah.
That he did it at LSU. He's done it in the NFL since he's been there. I just feel like he has that in him, that it's a W or nothing. You come back and you beat a tremendous Chiefs team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The Bengals defense was absolutely incredible in that game. And that's what I think is going to push them above the Rams, is because their defense shut down the Chiefs in the second half. Mm-hmm. And Burrow, it looked bad, but he actually burrowed out of that, because that deficit they had. And I actually, and number two is because I'm not going to cheer for a California team. So
that's what I was going to say.
Well, damn,
LA can stick it.
Now, if they were in St. Louis,
now listen, here's my thoughts. Like, I'm pulling for the Bengals. I like Joe Burrow.
Well, here's the deal.
Even though he went to LSU. Well, that doesn't have to do with anything.
You can't pull for the home team
in Ohio. Like, rarely. I hate Ohio State with everything that's in me.
He
just as much as
Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Oh no, they don't deserve. I will not give a THE to them. No, I hate Ohio State. But I've been to Indians games. Now the Guardians, but
they will always be the Indians.
Pat and Ray went with me to an Indians game. We enjoyed it.
They're not the Indians anymore.
It was pretty awesome.
I enjoy actually the Red Stadium pretty well too, man.
Aren't they the Guardians now?
Yeah,
they are the Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians. Yes,
I'll just go back and just watch Major League all the time, so it'll make me feel better about that.
Yeah. The new name actually, like, I was kind of about it. I mean, which I do hate that they changed it. I do. But
look,
I mean,
if
like,
you're going to change the team name,
the meaning
fine.
behind it,
but having the reason they changed it was just stupid.
It was, and I mean, like, and even the reason why they had the name to begin with, like, if you look at the historical context, like, yeah, I mean, like, it was a good reason. Like, it was like kind of a, an honor. Like, they named it after, a Native American, player on their team.
Yeah.
I mean, now
So,
if you go with the Chief Wahoo, I mean, yeah, I get, like, the caricature of, what he looked like. I mean, I get that. I can understand where people would say, I guess, kind of a mocking thing, but I mean, like, I guess I had hoped that, they would be able to find,
well,
a
here's
way
the thing.
to
Mock me
work
all
out the
you
logo
want,
and everything like that.
If you're gonna throw my face on a logo like that, have at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
So,
mean,
Mike, who you got?
but anyways, okay. And also, I got to say, I hate the Browns, but yeah. Anyways,
I don't think you got to worry about the Browns winning anything anytime soon.
oh no, I just always hated the Browns just because, like, those little quarter helmets you used to get in the gumball machines, that would used to be like the worst helmet to get
because it was just straight orange. Like,
right, exactly. It would come with like a white sticker, and you're like, that's not even like, that doesn't even do anything. This is not even what.
You're just
the
like,
helmet
this
looks
is
like
bullcrap. I want my money back. Like, give me
Right.
a Raiders or something where I can put a sticker on.
Oh
it at
yeah.
least.
Well, I mean, back in the day, during those times, I mean, it was like Cowboys and the Bills, and of course, I did like the Raiders too because my dad always loved the Raiders. But yeah, but I hated the Browns helmets. Anyways, I digress. I'm going for Bengals. I like Joe Burrow. I like his swag. I mean, dude, I'm just chilling, smoking a cigar after he won the Natty, that year. I get it, and I mean, like, I like his story. I mean, he and I guess apparently my 15-year-old daughter thinks he's hot. She's sitting here waving her hand in her face. Ugh.
I mean,
So,
you have
anyways,
both of them, man. What about you, Pat?
okay, but hold on. I want to say one last thing. I will not be mad if the Rams win just because Matt Stafford. Like,
At least an SEC quarterback will have one. So
right, that's true. But I mean, like, Matt Stafford, like, dwindling all of his playing career in Detroit, and being released to a winning team, a team that had a chance. Like, I commend Detroit for that too.
yeah.
But I mean, that he spent his whole career in Detroit.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's pretty cool that he's, his first year out of Detroit, he's in LA.
It's like, what does that say about Detroit?
Yeah. There's a curse.
Oh, right.
Hey,
Well, I mean,
Calvin Hey, Calvin Johnson.
oh my gosh. And by the way, I mean, even Detroit's new stadium is even smaller than their Pontiac Silverdome.
If you just think about some of the players that have came out of Detroit and the crappy seasons they've had, like, you've got Calvin Johnson, you've got Barry Sanders, you've
Barry
got
Sanders, man, Calvin Johnson, jeez, legends. I mean, Matt Stafford was posting up like huge numbers, even in Detroit, but they couldn't go anywhere.
Choke City.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like, it's almost like the Boston curse, except for with Detroit.
Yeah. I'm glad Boston got out of that curse, though. So
yeah. But
anyways,
I am actually going for the Bengals out of that. So
yeah, me too. Yeah. That's why I picked the Bengals. I guess I explained earlier that I think their defense was excellent, and if that defense shows up, that was in the second half of the Bengals Chiefs game, then and is it the Bengals kicker McPherson is actually from Fort
McPherson.
Payne,
Fort Payne
Alabama.
boy.
Fort Payne.
Yeah,
And he played
so-
at Florida.
Oh.
He
And
did play in Florida, so
there
that's a double, Jeff.
There we go.
Oh,
Not so much
yeah.
the Florida, but
Oh.
the Fort Payne maybe.
Florida.
Anyways, so
So on,
But yeah.
on my part is the Bengals, of course, Joe Shiesty. I've been rooting for him. His O-line is just dog water, just holding a big L almost every game, but somehow they're still winning. But I watched, and this kind of ties into Valentine's Day, having that person who's a ride or die for you. Matt Stafford's wife was on a couple podcasts leading up to this week, and she was just like saying how her literal words were, "I'm just so happy for him because he deserves this." And it's like to have a ride or die to be at Valentine's. I'm actually going to go for the Rams to win by 7. So that's my prediction.
also, guys,
Hey, all right.
speaking
All
of the
right.
Super Bowl, we've got the halftime show is going to be Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
Oh
and
my God.
Eminem,
Best
and-
halftime show
and Mary
that
J.
has
and Kendrick Lamar.
going to be
I'm gonna
in the
dress like
history
I'm
of
in the,
Super
I'm gonna
Bowl.
dress like the '90s again during that Super Bowl.
We are
I'm going to have my
Is
no
it gonna be
limit
jumpsuit
chain,
Jeff?
bubble jacket.
Jumpsuit Jeff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so. Isn't like I know there's crazy like betting lines for.
Could
for
you
the Super
imagine
Bowl,
if you
and
would
it's
have
like-
bet on? What if you would have bet the Bengals from the start?
Yeah,
No,
Because-
Bengals and
Absolutely.
Rams from the start. Who would have ever thought that?
no, nobody.
That,
You'd
that's
have been rich.
just.
But
oh
I'm
my
talking
gosh,
about like
man.
the crazy ones. It's like when you like what are the chances? There's like a line for if a nip slip is going to happen or something again during the Super
Oh.
Bowl, and you can actually bet that.
Prop bet.
Yeah,
It's called prop bet. So last year,
Yeah.
a guy ran onto the field during the Super Bowl, and he was he ran onto it during the game or whatever, got tackled. Well, he actually made a bet that someone would run onto the field, and he done it himself so he could win the prize money.
I like how that guy thinks though.
It was almost smart.
Rich.
It was almost
Almost.
smart.
And,
Genius.
until they decide not to pay him because he set
Yeah.
the bet up.
So,
So-
Greg, are
Man.
you going to run naked on the Super Bowl while we place bets on you?
Sure.
Yes.
You heard it
And
here,
we'll
folks.
Oh, here we go.
Who do you
We'll
got?
give you.
What's your pick,
Yeah,
Greg?
Greg, who you got?
I'll be honest with you guys. I don't really keep up with sports anymore, so
Greg's like the Bulls.
Doubles.
Doubles.
Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, with Greg's pick, I will say this: I was recording some things and putting it on our socials, on our TikTok, and I went 0 for 4 in the first games, and then I was 1 for 6 for the games that we have actually posted. So
You
don't
need to
listen
pick
to my
the
picks
Rams.
anyways.
You need to pick the Rams.
I did
Yeah, pick
I
the
did
Rams, right?
I honestly,
Okay.
I'll
You
be
did pick the
honest.
Rams?
I really thought it might
Yeah.
be the Bills' year.
Rams
I really
I
thought
did
it was
too.
going to be the Bills' year.
I thought I did too.
you know,
I did
I
too.
know this probably is dumb or whatever, but I'm probably gonna go Bengals just because they have a local.
Because it's a
kid.
tiger.
Local boy.
He's wanting
Yeah.
a local
There you
win.
go, bud.
Absolutely. I can get behind
Ain't
that.
nothing wrong with that. I can get behind that.
Plus, they're the Tigers. I tell you what.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I couldn't help it though.
Got those drives.
Oh boy.
But so there we go. We've given you the halftime show. We've given you our picks for the Super Bowl coming up next Sunday. By the way, what are we gonna have a different recording schedule since the Super Bowl is going to be that night? I'm sure we're gonna. I guess we might need to discuss that offline.
We probably should do like an
Maybe bump it up to earlier,
Yeah.
or even maybe Saturday night or something. We'll talk about it. But anyways, just
yeah.
give you a little behind the scenes of our what we discuss, and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff we can't put out in public, and we wouldn't want
Listen, I came up with a very interesting 2022 prediction,
to.
and it involved Greg, and I'm starting to feel like this is coming to light. So,
I feel like
yeah,
it is.
I'm scared. I'm
You should
scared.
be.
Yeah. So, but thanks, Greg.
I'm scared.
What's that, Greg?
I said I don't even know what your prediction is, and I'm scared just because I know our history.
You should be scared.
You should be
You should.
very scared.
But anyways, hey Greg, thanks for coming on. I know, I got with you on short notice, and I was like, hey, this is episode 10. We got to get Greg on and as a guest.
Absolutely, man.
And anyways,
we should have him more often.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll try
to drop in anytime you want, guys.
Yeah,
we gotta get Greg a theme song for when he comes on, so we can play it.
And,
get him all jazzed up before he comes on with us.
Fluffed up.
Well,
yeah.
Greg used to be a church clown, so maybe we could do like some circus music, like.
I'll quit.
Yes.
Tell you what, just play me the Peacemaker theme song, and I'll be fine.
Nice.
I got you.
Nice.
I will have to. That the intro to that show, I will say, is spectacular.
Ridiculously awesome.
It's funny,
Dude,
man. I love it.
That show has been nuts.
Guys,
I want to hate the intro to that show, but I can't.
It's a fever dream.
Watch the Reacher. Watch Reacher on Amazon.
Reacher.
Prime.
Okay.
It is awesome. It's like nothing. Like I know Tom Cruise did like a movie, but
Yeah.
It is nothing. It is awesome. Like it is really good.
Who's the lead actor on that?
Oh, dang it!
Isn't the guy who played on Blue Mountain State? The white dude.
That's one I didn't watch, bud.
You didn't watch.
You didn't watch Blue Mountain State?
Yeah, was that any good?
That was a great show.
Are you kidding me?
No, I haven't seen it. Listen, you're going to get on to me when Pat has not seen a majority of anything that we have ever talked about.
If it's not on audiobook, Patrick hasn't saw it, listened to it, around it.
His name is Alan Robinson.
Dude, I'm listening to the
let's see, audio.
Andy Weir, the Project Hail Mary right now.
Of course you are.
And it is
Hail Mary.
You don't need to do any. You don't need to do anything else.
What do we have here now? Do you want
Pat needs to be
I am
on
a killer,
strict.
but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting.
Until he watches. Pat's on restriction until he watches Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
so like, put all your podcasts and all your audio books of Joyce Meyer to the side until you get done watching Saving Private Ryan.
Don't listen to Joyce Meyer.
Listen, her Battlefield of the Mind was actually pretty good. I'll give her props on that.
Wrestling, Jeff.
Jeff, that's the funniest thing you've ever said. That was great. Oh,
my wife is going to kill me, but that's okay.
Alan.
All right.
Listen, Jeff's wife. I commend Joyce Meyer on her book Battlefield of the Mind, but like listening to her talk, oh my God, I can't.
I think it's the country thing that does it. That for me, that
no, it's the Waffle House waitress voice for me.
All right. Well, as we're outroing, the Man Therapy Podcast loves everybody. We appreciate everybody listening. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Let us know what you want to hear in the future. Look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.
Hit us with it, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like trying to get wet cats to stay in like a square box with all of us.